Hi, I'm Steph.
Hi, I'm Katie.
Welcome to the Boyfriend Material Book Club. We're super excited. Today we're talking about all things rom-com and then the first 10 chapters of Boyfriend Material, so it will be completely spoiler-free.
So don't worry if you haven't read it yet. You're not going to be spoiled. You're just going to be convinced to pick this up ASAP.
Exactly. You're just going to want to read it after this. So first we thought we would talk about some of our favorite rom-coms, any that we have bought recently, what's up next on our TBR. Tell us down below which your favorite rom-com is. And Katie, do you want to start?
Absolutely. I was pulling books for this and I was kind of overwhelmed on how many I actually owned. So I'm just going to share a couple of my top favorites. There are so many more out there. Please tell us below because clearly I'm obsessed. But first off, one of my favorites of all time, The Hating Game.
Classic. Have to read it.
Enemies to lovers. Come on. And then, I'm a huge fan of Christina Lauren. I started reading them back when they were publishing the Beautiful Bastard series. They've kind of shifted to a lot more rom-com. And of course, On Honeymooners is fantastic if you just want some tropey, light beach read, honestly. Fun. And of course, would this be a video without red, white, and royal blue?
No, it wouldn't. Also, we discovered today that somehow I don't own a copy of this book, which is nuts. So I'm going to be buying one this weekend because I love that book.
Yeah. I was like, Steph, how do you not own this? I know you've read it.
I have no idea. I think someone must have borrowed it and kept it.
And next, something that combines two of my loves, which is rom-com and sports romance, which is Intercepted.
Alexa Martin.
Such good voice in her books. I love them, honestly. And then if you like rom-com movies, you definitely need to check out Andy J. Christopher series, like spins on classic rom-com movies that you absolutely need. Some more. Well Met, set at a Ren Fair, so like if you're missing out on that this year, this is the perfect book to pick up. And the sequel, which I think just came
out. I think just did or is about to.
Yeah. And then of course, Helen Hunting. All of her books are absolutely hilarious, even the ones that aren't really quite packaged like how you see rom-coms these days. You know, she does a lot in sports romance as well. That's how I originally started reading her. Highly recommend.
Kiss My Cupcake just came out.
Yes, that came out Tuesday.
It did.
And then Steph, I know, has just recently read this book, and that is Waiting for Tom Hanks.
You guys. So I have not been reading a lot. I wonder why. And I listened to Tweet Cute on audiobook, and I asked Katie to give me recommendations that are similar. And I listened to Waiting for Tom Hanks in a day and a half. It is so good. Highly recommend.
Yeah, and it's lower heat level, so if that's something that does turn you off sometimes from books, it's lower heat level. I don't know what else I was gonna
say. It is very cute.
And then one book I've read that isn't out yet, I think all those are, is Written in the Stars, which comes out in November, I believe. Yeah, November. It's a lesbian rom-com. So you'll want to check that one out. And then I also, this one is out. Something to talk about, which is set in Hollywood.
Katie has the longest list ever. That's it.
I could show you these two, the Jenny Holiday series, which are mass market, but so tropey, so funny, honestly, so much fun.
My turn?
Yes.
Okay. So first I wanted to start with two source books ones. If you haven't read these, I would highly recommend both of them. The Tourist Attraction by Sarah Morgenthaler. If you need an escape to an adorable, quirky small town in Alaska, it's got some grumpy sunshine, and
Steph's favorite.
It is my favorite. If you guys have Grumpy Sunshine recommendations, tell me below. I love Grumpy Sunshine. So it is very good. And the sequel, Mistletoe Mr. Right, which is a Christmas one, comes out in October. And then Conventionally Yours by Annabeth Albert, which is a enemies to lovers, nerdy road trip, gay rom-com, and I love it so much. It is adorable and cute, and if that is your jam, you should check it out. And then I realized that I don't have the first book of this either. I'm not sure what's going on here, but Undercover Bromance. The first one is Bromance Book Club.
So good.
It's so, so good. I love both of them so much, but I prefer Undercover Bromance because I love Mac. I love Mac so much. Then I have two by Talia Hibbert. I've got Get a Life, Chloe Brown, which is the first one, and Take a Hint, Danny Brown, which is the second one, which I'm reading right now, and I love it. Danny is adorable, and I love her relationship a lot. And then a couple that I just recently purchased, The Worst Best Man by Mia Sosa, and You Had Me at Hola by Alexis Daria, that I have been waiting for like for the entire year. Anytime I've seen anything about this book, I've been like, I need it.
Yeah, every time I was like, oh, look, Steph, look what book is mentioned here.
I'm so, so excited. So I just got this and I can't wait to start it. And then the next audiobook that I'm going to be listening to, because rom-com audiobooks seem to be getting me through life right now, is Alicia Rye's The Right Swipe, which I'm really excited about reading as well.
A couple that I'm really excited about reading, I have A Sweet Mess, which this like teal blue is with the purple is A+. It's
really pretty.
Suzanne Parks' Loathe at First Sight, which if you haven't read her YA book, The Perfect Escape, it is so adorable. So I'm super excited to read her adult romance.
Also, that cover is adorable. Love it.
And a book I've recently bought that I'm also very excited to read is The Boyfriend Project.
Yay! So many good rom-coms. So this was not one of our talking points, but I have to ask, which we talked about a ton of times. What are your favorite rom-com tropes? Other than enemies to lovers, because obviously Katie is the queen of enemies to lovers.
I have to say I'm like trying to also think of like movies too, because like that's how I really, I grew up watching rom-com movies, and like that really what solidified my love for this kind of writing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I love fake relationship.
Yeah,
whether it's dating, marriage.
Fake dating is where it's at for me too. Which leads us into boyfriend material, which we are discussing. Again, we're discussing the first 10 chapters, no spoilers at all, just the setup. So I think we have to start with like kind of an obvious thing, but boyfriend material is a rom-com. And I think like, I don't know if I could say my favorite thing because I have so many favorite things about boyfriend material, but one of my favorite things is that it is honestly like seriously laugh out loud funny.
Yes. There are so many lines where you're just like, I can't believe Alexis wrote that. I love it.
Yes. So I recently reread it as an audiobook, and I was walking around my neighborhood listening to it with my dog, and thank goodness I had a mask on because I was like smiling and cackling, and I'm sure people thought I was a bit of a weirdo, but it's so funny.
Yeah, and it's like every scene. Like, it doesn't matter which characters are interacting. They're all hilarious.
Yeah, and that's like a really great thing about it too, because it does deal with some serious issues. It deals with mental health. It deals with family issues, health issues, but it's perfectly balanced with this wonderful, like, British humor, and it's really, really well done.
Which I have to say, Steph read this book before I did, and she was like, "It's so British," and I was like, I was a little nervous because like the UK's cool, but Steph's a little more obsessed with it. I don't know if you can tell.
Just a little.
I was nervous that I wasn't going to get some of the jokes, but Alexis does such a great job at fitting it into the scene that, I'm like, oh wait, that totally makes sense.
Yeah. So one of the things that makes it so funny is there is a gigantic cast of amazing, amazing characters. I again, I can't say favorite. I love them all. But the James Royce-Royces, so let me take that back. There are two men named James Royce who get married, and so they are the James Royce-Royces. And it is, I don't know why, but it is hilarious to me. It is so funny. But you can actually tell the difference between James Royce and James Royce because Alexis does a great job with their dialogue.
Yes.
Who's your favorite cast or side character?
Oh God. I mean, all of them. Like, I feel like they all have their own moments. Like, I mean, this is kind of like further down the line, but like, we get kind of the relationship dynamic and like who kind of everyone is. And I feel like to have like a friend group that they're all the same wouldn't make sense to me, because like I am not the same as all of my friends. We're all very, very different.
Yeah, even though you and I think the same a lot.
And then that's a different story.
I also really like Bridget, and I'm going to read just one paragraph because, so Bridget works in publishing, which Katie and I obviously do as well. And throughout the book, there are various publishing mishaps. And I am just going to read one from the very beginning. So Luke and his group of friends meet up to talk, and Bridget arrives late. And so I'm just going to read this one paragraph. So, sorry I'm late. Bridget's voice rang clarion-like across the beer garden, and I turned my face sideways in time to see her wobbling urgently over the grass in her ever impractical heels. You won't believe what's happened. Can't really talk about it. But one of our authors was scheduled to have this massively prestigious midnight release tonight, and the lorry carrying the books to Foyles went over a bridge into a river, and now not only are half of them ruined, but the other half have been scavenged by extremely well-organized fans, and there are spoilers all over the internet. I think I'm going to get fired. And I just love it so much because, I mean, nothing like that, thankfully, has ever happened to us, but there are things where it happens and you're just like freaking out and you're like, I'm definitely going to get fired. And it's super relatable to us, but I think it's also really funny to people who have maybe certain ideas about what publishing is like.
And I think, I don't want to say everyone's had this thought, but I think there's always that moment where you make like a mistake, or a mistake happens on your watch at work, and you're just like, oh my god, everyone hates me, oh my god, they're gonna fire me, like, and then it goes by and you're like, wait, no one like blinked an eye over this.
Yes, exactly. So he's got a great friend group. This is Luke, of course, has a great friend group. They have some hilarious names for their WhatsApp group, which you guys should check out. It cracks me up. But he also has friends at work, right?
Yes. I mean, what else would you call them?
I don't know if that's what you would call them, but
people you talk to in your cube.
Yeah. And one of them is our lovely Alex Twaddle, who is a bit dumb. So funny.
He's disconnected from reality.
Okay, that's a nice way to say it. That's a nice way to say it. And he like Luke tries to tell him jokes, and he just takes them so literally, and it just doesn't work. But the reason Alex is so great is because Luke comes into a bit of trouble, right?
Yeah, he's trying to clean up his reputation. Like, the foundation, right? It's a foundation that he works for.
A charity.
and charity, thank you. And they're trying to secure some top level donors, and they're questioning what he's doing in his free time, I guess. Which don't you love?
Yeah. So Luke is concerned because some of the donors are dropping out of the dung beetle charity event. Yep, dung beetles. And so Alex decides to offer some advice and comes up with the idea that Luke should get in a fake relationship with someone who's much more put together. And so enter Katie's favorite, Oliver.
I love Oliver. He needs to be protected at all costs. I don't care what anyone says.
And they have met each other before, right?
Yeah, it's a couple times they've crossed paths because they have Bridget's boyfriend, right?
Now you have me second guessing. I think it's Bridget. It's Bridget knows both of them. Yeah.
Yes. And so they've crossed paths before. And there's funny moments we already know about. Luke may or may not have already tried to hook up with Oliver.
Yep, maybe. And also they're at an event together where someone assumes that they're in a couple, and Oliver very bluntly says, "That is just a homosexual standing next to me."
That's so funny to me.
It's just so funny. And so Luke has a very bad picture in his head of Oliver. Oliver just does not like Luke, is what Luke thinks. But they decide to go out together, and they end up getting into a fake relationship together, which Luke pretty early on almost ruins because his mom, oh my God, wait, we have to talk about Luke's mom. Luke's mom is the one who should be protected at all costs. I love her so much. She is obsessed with RuPaul's Drag Race. She doesn't 100% understand it, but it is so wonderful, and I love her. Anyway, side note. So Luke's mom calls him when he is supposed to be going on a date with Oliver, and asks him to come home for something very important, which I will not spoil. It is at the end of chapter 10, so make sure you read that. But Luke, who is just a gigantic mess of a human being, and I adore him, and he is anxiety-ridden, and I feel that, goes home to his mom instead of meeting Oliver for the date.
And that's kind of where it kind of leaves off for us. So it's definitely a nice little intro to kind of what the book's about, but without spoiling anything. And I'm sure you definitely want to pick it up now.
I really, really hope you do. If you are like me and you need some humor and a little slight bit of ridiculousness and a lot of fun, highly recommend picking up Boyfriend Material. And also, we are doing a book club giveaway. So you can head to bit.ly/BM book club giveaway.
And it'll be linked everywhere.
Also, it's linked everywhere, where you can enter to win one of 100 signed book plates from Alexis, which we're really excited about, as well as this amazing set. You can't really tell, but this amazing set of stamped Boyfriend Material pencils from Longhand Pencils. So make sure you go there and enter. And then, what chapters are we talking about next week? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Well, chapter 11 until I think 28.
Okay.
28 seems to stick out, but let me. You were. I don't know.
I'm looking. I can't remember.
But you know what? Who's your favorite friend character or friend? Who's your favorite character in the friend group so far? Wow.
Okay, next week we are talking about chapters 11 through 30, And Alexis is going to be with us to answer some of your questions. So if you have any, make sure you go to that same URL where you can submit your questions for Alexis to answer. Yes. And we hope you love it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
You're still recording.
I hit leave meeting and I was going to leave the meeting.
It's still recording.
I'm working on it.